Okay, so where were you the day that you heard the news that Ben Affleck was cast as Batman? I read the news today. Oh boy. It's a day that will live in infamy. Families are just being torn apart, lives are being ruined. The world is surely at a free fall towards the end. This is one of the signs. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. This is the end. This is the end as we know it. Was that over the top? I can never tell. Anyway, huge news. Ben Affleck has been announced as the new Batman for the upcoming Superman Man of Steel 2 and the Batman versus Superman movie. That's what I've been reading, I guess, is kind of the story. Ben Affleck. Oh boy. There's some backlash about this decision. I don't know. It's like, in like the early 2000s when everyone seemed to hate Ben Affleck no matter what he did. Shitty movies, critics hated him. But then, like, slowly but surely, he kind of made his way into good graces, and he became a respected director and an actor, too. Like, his acting really stepped up a game. And then, recently, just this year, he won the Academy Award for Best Picture for Argo. His movie. He wasn't nominated for director. We were on his side when he wasn't nominated for director. Now, not so much. It's like pretty much we all got knocked on the head and we like had amnesia. But now we're remembering something in our head is saying, "Oh, we hate Ben Affleck." I don't know. That's kind of the impression I'm getting. But is it fair? I don't know. It's a little early to tell. I kind of feel like Harvey Dent a little bit. I'm of two faces about the matter. On one hand, I'm kind of a little surprised by the news, like about like him being casted specifically. Not that he's a necessarily bad choice, but just not really a choice that made me think, oh wow, awesome. That'd actually be great. Not that so much, but it's like whenever you hear about these casting decisions, you think to their old roles. A lot of people are thinking back to Daredevil, which is kind of unfair because I thought Daredevil was okay, but it's kind of like, well, he's played Daredevil. Do we really want him as Batman? See what he did there. I thought he was okay in it, but not great. Which is kind of one of my fears is about this movie, but it's an odd choice. Kind of because he's just so familiar of an actor, because he has that history, because we can, poke little holes in everything that he's done, weigh it in against him for being in this movie, as opposed to an unknown like Henry Cavill sort of was. I mean, he was pretty much unknown when he was cast as Superman. But here it's like, he's probably, I would say he's, the most famous actor to be cast as Batman, really. Even more than Clooney was at the time, because when Clooney was cast, he was really only known for, like, ER. He did From Dusk Till Dawn, maybe One Fine Day, or I don't even know, Return of the Killer Tomatoes, Roseanne, that was pretty much it. But yeah, because he's so familiar, I'm thinking, they've gone a really strange, interesting but strange route with that decision. Be kind of like if they like went with, Robert Redford as Superman. We just know him so well that we're going to be overanalyzing everything we see in the role, sort of. That's kind of what I think. But, give him a break for Daredevil. If that's your only reason for not liking the idea of Ben Affleck, then that's a little unfair, I think. Because, he's really grown as an actor. Definitely with stuff like The Town and Argo, he's really played like complex and brooding characters, which would actually be perfect for Bruce Wayne. So there is that. But the thing that has me worried is that I can pretty much tell you right now what I can expect from him in the role. I can kind of envision it already. It's going to be better than Daredevil. He'll have something to prove there. But, it's not like somebody like out of left field where I'd be like, I don't know exactly how they'll do it. I do have a good idea of how he'll probably do it. And because of that, I'm not as excited. So it's a good choice. It's a competent choice for casting, but he's just so well known. We know what to expect, so it's just not exciting. It's not interesting. It's kind of a safe move. Like, I didn't expect him to be even in the running, to be honest, but I'm just not generally, intrigued, I guess, by Ben Affleck being cast as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Because, like, for example, when Christian Bale was cast, I was like, okay, yeah, he does kind of look Bruce Wayne-ish, like, American Psycho guy in the suits. I get that. But he was also in that Dragon movie or something. He's British, I don't really know, so it had my interest. And the thing is, Ben Affleck is not a character actor. He's one of the greatest actors working today. I personally think. I'll say that. But he works within his own kind of range of things. Like, when he gets outside the comfort zone a little bit, I won't even cite Daredevil as a problem. I would cite Shakespeare in Love. Remember he was doing that horrible British accent? Oh my god. That would be bad if Batman was British. No, I just mean, if he completely changed his voice or something, it would be too goofy because we're so familiar with him and his persona. And so we can kind of expect what his Bruce Wayne voice will sound like and what his Batman voice will sound like. So we have an idea in our heads already. Unless he, like, trains on a mountaintop with Daniel Day-Lewis for a year. Completely changes and takes us by storm. But he's not a character actor, so that's one thing. I think, they were looking for a seasoned, older Batman, a larger kind of name star. So Ben Affleck definitely fits that criteria. But I don't know, I think more of a character actor would have been more interesting. And, I guess that's a little unfair, but that's just kind of my opinion. And people are a little bit more upset than they should be. I mean, I'm intrigued. Like, I definitely still am intrigued. But people are pretty up in arms about it, which is a little too much, I think. And, no hate necessary, really. And a lot of people are arguing against saying he is a good choice. The main argument is wait for the movie. And I do think it's fair to judge a casting decision because we're familiar with somebody's work. We'll, kind of determine based on our own experiences viewing their movies whether or not we personally feel, person per person, whether or not they would be suitable for the role. So there's that, but people will bring up the point, which, you can take it with a grain of salt, but people are like, well, hey, people were up in arms against Michael Keaton. Mr. Mom is Batman? What? So it's sort of a fair point, but not really. Only because, one, internet's not as huge of a thing as it is now as it was back then. I mean, this wasn't the voice of, like, the people. It was, kind of magazines and articles saying that, making jokes, and the fans too. But the thing was, I think the backlash against Michael Keaton originally back in '88, I guess, when he was announced, I do kind of think that was fair. Only because since he was an established comedic actor, based on that casting decision, I think a lot of people were afraid that it would be campy Adam West type Batman. So people weren't really understanding what Tim Burton was going for and finding the darkness within the clown, basically. So there is that. So I don't think that's quite a fair comparison. Another comparison people are making, which is totally unfair, is the Heath Ledger comparison. Hindsight isn't always 20/20, but I don't think everybody was upset about Heath Ledger being cast. More people were just kind of unsure. Like, he wasn't the obvious choice, which I liked. I was one of those in Nolan we trust type people, so I was always kind of intrigued by that. And based on his acting history, I mean, he's a versatile actor. Knight's Tale compared to 10 Things I Hate About You. Compare that to Brokeback Mountain. Compare that to Monsters Ball. So he was an interesting choice, and obviously it pulled off. He won the respect of the fans and an Oscar. Fortunately, he passed away, but that's another story. So, that's an unfair comparison. Plus, they're two different characters. So, you can't blindly trust the filmmakers too much. I know Nolan is involved, but I feel the same way about Affleck being cast as I felt about Zack Snyder being chosen as director. I can tell you that makes sense. That will be good. Zack Snyder pulled off a good Superman movie. I thought Man of Steel was good. I didn't think it was great. I wasn't like blown away, like this is the definitive Superman movie. And I'm assuming I probably won't feel that way about Affleck in being Batman. But there's so much that, we don't know. How much is he going to be Batman? How much is he going to be Bruce Wayne? How large is his role in Man of Steel 2? Obviously, it's going to be big in Superman versus Batman. But you never know. It could be a totally 100% Batman thing. End of the day, I mean, it's Batman. It's a new Batman movie coming out. That's cool. Make 100 Batman movies. I will see them. Cast Ben Affleck. Cast Leonardo DiCaprio. Cast Paul Giamatti as Batman. Cast Paula Deen as Batman. Whoever. I'll see it. The only way I wouldn't see it would be maybe if, like, they cast a really bad Lex Luthor or something. Or if he's even in it. Who knows? But we're seeing it for Batman, not for Ben Affleck. So if he can kind of mask his Ben Affleckisms, if that's a thing, then I think it'd be fine. As long as we see the character Batman on screen, I'll be happy. I'm sure I won't be completely blown away because Keaton is a sentimental favorite, but I always think, I don't think in my lifetime we'll ever see as good of a Batman as Christian Bale, or as good as Batman movies as Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. That's just my personal opinion. But it's Batman. We're seeing it for Batman. Colonel Tom Parker, he took Elvis's suit on tour decades after Elvis died. He made money off it. We're going for the suit, not the man in the suit. That's kind of the general point. At the end of it all, it's like there's no real reason why you should be over negative about everything. You shouldn't be like, Ben Affleck, fuck him, fuck Daredevil, fuck Geely, Oscar winner, who cares? What is Ben Affleck gonna get his buddy Matt Damon to be Robin? Well, shut up. Like, it's too much. I mean, I know that's kind of the good thing and bad thing about, like, comic book nerds or, just the comic book fans, really. I don't want to say nerds. Like, it's too diminishing to say, oh, nerds, shut up. Because, I do feel if you have valid complaints, they should be listened to. If you have valid concerns, they should be listened to. But at the end of the day, the movie hasn't come out. If you're unsure about the casting, then that's one thing. If you're going to make a big fuss and bitch about it, then, maybe you need to settle down a little bit. I have my concerns, but I have my hopes too. I think Ben Affleck would be pretty good. But yeah, there's no reason not to be optimistic, not to look forward to it. I don't have the link for it or the citation for it, but, studies have shown if you say something's never going to happen or not going to be good, it will be remembered. If it is, right? So if it's not, people won't really remember. So there's no sense in saying, like, what are you holding the right for to say, oh, I told you so. Ben Affleck did suck. So whatever. I mean, I know people are, a little up in arms, but it is a role that we all hold dear. I love Batman. I have a great respect for any actor who has played Batman. Like, that's a coveted role. That's like a godly role. I'll watch, if I do like a Batman movie, I'll watch every single, Batman. I'll watch George Clooney's Batman. I love Dietrich Batter's Batman. Kevin Conroy. It's just such a cherished role that people feel very protective of it. And for some reasons, Ben Affleck isn't meshing with everybody's, 100% perfect choice. I personally, I won't list, actors that I think should have been Batman, because I really don't know. I just kind of hope they, at Warner Brothers, with Snyder, with Nolan, how much he's involved, I doubt he's involved that much, but I just hope they know what they're doing, and, I'm hopeful. I won't say, yes, awesome choice. I was holding out hope, deep in my heart of hearts, that maybe Bale would have returned. That would have been awesome, but I won't complain about it. I'm intrigued. The news this was just announced yesterday, so let's all wait and see how it is. You know, there's backlash now because it's a big story now, so people are entitled to their opinions. But you know, let's just see how it works out. I'll see it. I'll see anything with Batman. Batman and Superman in a fucking movie together. Who cares? You'll just take my money. But it shouldn't be at the cost of quality. So I hope it's a quality movie. I hope they learn from the mistakes in storytelling that they made with Man of Steel and improve upon it for its sequel, and just kind of, you know, give us something that is, you know, respectful to comic book fans. I think Ben Affleck, he has the looks, the physique, he has the acting chops. There's no reason why he shouldn't make a good Batman. Sure, it's not a spectacular, amazing, out-of-the-box, chin-scratching, interesting choice that will always have me wondering until opening day. But that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I'll take it over no Batman movies at all. So, that's just kind of my 2 cents. So, thank you for watching, and have a bat-tastic day. Bye.